All right, so we're back for another deep dive. And this time, we're looking at the Blue Lock Season 2 finale, episodes 13 and 14. I gotta tell you, just reading this got me so hyped for it. The end of this match with U20 Japan, especially that scene where Rin takes that brutal kick to the face, blocking that shot from Oliver.
Oh man, yeah, that definitely sets the stage for an incredible finale. Those final 15 minutes, they're non-stop action, and they really highlight the emotional stakes for each player. And Rin's reaction is where things get really interesting. You know, he enters this state of hyper-focus that sports psychologists call flow. You know, he's completely consumed by the game and driven by that fierce rivalry with his brother.
Yeah, it's like a switch flips, and he just becomes this unstoppable force. It goes beyond just, wanting to win for Blue Lock.
The review even points out how the animation style shifts, using red filters and distorted sound to create this unsettling, almost horror movie vibe.
I was going to say, it's like a total change from the usual energy of the show. I actually got chills during some of those close-ups of Rin. It makes me wonder if this is a hint of what's to come in future seasons.
This transformation definitely impacts the whole team. Imagine trying to play alongside someone who's gone through that kind of shift. But before we get too lost in the psychological implications, let's talk about something else, the audio. The voice acting and soundtrack in these final episodes are phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I was blown away by Koki Uchiyama's performance as Rin. He perfectly captures that raw intensity and the subtle nuances of Rin's descent, almost monstrous state.
Yeah, Uchiyama's delivery really elevates the emotional weight of those scenes. And I have to agree, the soundtrack is incredibly powerful. It almost feels like it compensates for any limitations in the animation, pulling you right into the heart of the action.
Speaking of pulling you in, let's talk about that final minute of the match. 1 minute of greatness, stretched over a thrilling 7.5 minutes of screen time. And it's true, the animation of Sai effortlessly dribbling past the Blue Lock players. It's mesmerizing. You can feel the tension building with every move.
That extended sequence is masterfully done. It's not just about the visuals either, it's the emotional clash between Rin and Sai that really grips you. You see their complex relationship laid bare, all those years of rivalry and unspoken expectations bubbling to the surface.
And that's when Rin finally breaks through. Sai acknowledges that this is Rin's true self, unleashed and free. It's such a powerful scene, but it left me wondering, is Sai being genuinely supportive? Or is there like a hint of disappointment there? Like maybe he doesn't fully approve of the path that Rin is choosing.
It's a great observation, and it speaks to the ambiguity that makes their relationship so compelling. But before we go too deep on that, I think it's time we shift our focus to the protagonist, Usagi. You know, he's been somewhat in the background during this match, but the finale gives him a chance to truly shine.
In the finale, it all comes full circle. Usagi uses that very element of luck to score an incredible goal. It's like poetry.
The anime really emphasizes the emotion of that moment by repeatedly showing Usagi's kick, the ball hitting the net. Even the reactions from the crowd contribute to the overall impact. It's a satisfying payoff. I think if it had just been shown once, it wouldn't have had the same impact, but they really made it stick with the viewer by choosing to show it several times. I felt like I was right there on the field with him, experiencing his victory firsthand.
Yeah, this finale really sets the stage for the future of Blue Lock. I was on the edge of my seat, wondering what would happen next.
And we see Izagi brimming with newfound confidence, declaring his ambition to lead U20 Japan to the World Cup. Ego finally gets the support he needs to launch the Neo-Egoist League. And wait, did I just see Kunigami make a reappearance?
He did. And don't forget, the news about Mamoru Miyano being cast as Michael Kaiser. Seriously, after reading this, I need to dive into the manga immediately if I want to know what happens next.
I hear you. It sounds like the creators are setting us up for some exciting new developments. But before you rush off to read the manga, let's take a moment to unpack what this finale really delivered. We had intense action, significant character development, and a satisfying conclusion to the match against U20 Japan.
And despite any limitations the production might have had, the clever use of sound and animation techniques made it an incredibly immersive experience. It's like they knew exactly how to amplify the emotional impact of each scene.
Exactly. And of course we can't forget Izagi's winning goal, which sets the stage for a whole new chapter in the Blue Lock saga. But this finale also leaves us with a thought-provoking question. Now that Rin has broken free from his brother's shadow and embraced this quote-unquote ugly playing style, will he be the hero or the villain of the next chapter?
Well, that question has been stuck in my head since I finished watching the finale. Rin's transformation is definitely one of the most intriguing aspects of these episodes.
It certainly makes you rethink his character and his ambitions, and that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating. We're not just recapping the plot, but exploring those deeper layers of meaning and character motivation.
Exactly. And I have a feeling we're just scratching the surface here.
I think you're right. But we'll save that. So we love talking about Rin and Shan and his potential future as a hero or a villain. But I want to circle back to something you touched on earlier. You mentioned the use of red filters.
Oh yeah, in the animation during Rin's transformation, it was almost unsettling how they used those red filters, especially when paired with the distorted sound effects. It definitely gave those scenes a completely different vibe. I'm not usually a fan of horror, but it works so well here.
It was a brilliant choice by the animators. The red filters visually represent Rin's internal state, that overwhelming surge of aggression and determination, and the distorted audio adds another layer, making you feel almost like you're trapped inside his head, experiencing that intensity firsthand.
You know, it's amazing how these subtle techniques can have such a profound impact on how we perceive a character. And thinking about those red filters, it makes me wonder, Rin breaking free from his brother's shadow, could that be interpreted as like a villain origin story in a way?
That's a fascinating take. It definitely opens up a whole new layer of interpretation. You know, we've always seen Rin striving to surpass Sai, but now that he's achieved this level of freedom, will he use it for good? Will he be a force for positive change within Bluelock? Or will this newfound power corrupt him? The finale leaves us with more questions than answers, and I think that's a testament to the quality of the storytelling.
You know, it's not just about the action, it's about the complex characters and their ever-evolving motivations. It constantly keeps you guessing.
Speaking of complex characters, let's talk about Izagi's development. His journey in this match, culminating that final goal, speaks volumes about his growth as a player and as a person. He's come so far since his initial entry into Bluelock.
Absolutely. He's finally starting to embrace his own unique style of play. You know, it's not just about replicating what he's learned from others. It's about incorporating those lessons and forging his own path.
And his willingness to embrace luck. That's something Rin taught him early on, and it's fascinating to see how that lesson comes full circle in the finale. Isagi recognizes that element of chance in soccer, and instead of shying away from it, he uses it to his advantage. It's a subtle detail, but incredibly symbolic of his overall growth.
It's like he's learned to trust his instincts and embrace the unpredictable nature of the game. Any last words of wisdom before they dive in?
Enjoy the ride. Let yourself get swept up in the emotion, the tension, the spectacle of it all.
Beautifully said. I think that's the perfect note to end on. So to our listener, experience the Bluelock Season 2 finale. And when you're done, come back and tell us what you thought. We'd love to hear your insights and theories.
Until next time, keep diving deep.